is KGW News at Sunrise.
In just a few minutes, authorities in Chesapeake, Virginia will hold a news conference updating their investigation into a deadly mass shooting at a Walmart store. We'll bring you some of that live as soon as it happens.
A quote, urgent threat to public safety. That is what the Multnomah County District Attorney is calling the shortage of public defenders in the county. Coming up, the change his office will be making to bring more attention to the issue.
And holiday travelers are heading out this morning. There is a live look from Portland International. It is bustling. Folks going all kinds of places today. We checked the schedule and the first flight is taken off right about now at 5 o'clock with many more to come all throughout the day. Chris McGinnis will join us for a live report in just a few minutes.
Okay, 5 a.m. on a Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for getting up with us. We're glad you're here. Man, Can you believe it? We're almost there. Thanksgiving right there.
Yes, the final trip to the grocery store was completed yesterday.
Same.
I believe we have everything.
I think we do.
We'll find out tomorrow. All right, we have fog this morning. That's the only local travel issue that would perhaps slow you down. I had nothing coming from my place up in Vancouver, and the map doesn't show anything into downtown Portland. But you get over on the west side, that's dense fog, Scappoose, Hillsborough, McMinnville. The 0.25 means only a quarter of a mile of visibility. Fog pockets around Salem, but so far in the city, not bad, and down to Eugene. This will be a completely dry day. Winds will be light all day. Early morning numbers, 36 Hillsborough, 43 Portland. Not bad, and with no wind. I don't think it feels bad outside, or I didn't. Of course, I park in the garage. Okay. 41 in Salem. All right, here we go. Assuming we get developing sunshine, we'll pop it up to about 50 for a high. I have us 46 at noon, and then, of course, quickly cooling back down to the 40s later today. Tomorrow still looks mostly sunny for Thanksgiving Day. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Rod. If you're just waking up with us, another mass shooting to talk about this morning in Southeast Virginia. 7 people, including the shooter, are dead. This happened at a Chesapeake, Virginia Walmart. Police are giving an update now, so we want to listen in real quick.
For future updates after that, we're going to be posting to our city's Twitter account, which is @AboutChesapeake. It's the official Twitter account for the city of Chesapeake. So with that, Mr. Price.
Thank you. I know it pains all of us to be together today on this day of incredible tragedy and unimaginable sadness. Chesapeake's a wonderful place. We come together when times are good. We come together when times are difficult. I know that we're going through very difficult days today and in the days ahead, but we will get through this. Mayor West was unable to join us today. He's tested positive for COVID, but he has asked me to read a statement. I am devastated by the senseless act of violence that took place last night in our city. My prayers are with all of those affected, the victims, their family, their friends, and their coworkers. I'm grateful for the quick actions taken by our first responders who rushed to the scene. Chesapeake is a tight-knit community, and we are all shaken by this news. Together, we will support each other throughout this time. Please keep us in your prayers. Before I turn it over to Chief Selesky, I'd like to make a few remarks. First of all, I'm very proud of the response of our public safety team and our other first responders, including those in human services and mental health. You hope a day like this never comes, but we train for it, we practice, we talk about it, we discuss, we learn lessons from other places. We try to put those lessons to good use, hoping that those lessons...
You've been listening to an official briefing in Chesapeake, Virginia about the Walmart shooting that happened. We will continue to monitor this in the newsroom. We'll turn some sound and play that for you coming up later in the show. So this shooting happened just a few days after the mass shooting in Colorado Springs. That accused gunman opened fire Saturday at an LGBTQ nightclub. Now more survivors are recounting what happened.
I lost 2 of my dear friends in the shooting. And being in here, I could not go to any vigils. They took everything away, as if they were trying to take my life as well.
Defense lawyers say the suspect is non-binary. Court filings list the 22-year-old as using they/them pronouns. They are out of the hospital this morning and in jail and expected to make their first court appearance today, facing murder and hate crimes charges.
Oregon is dealing with a severe shortage of public defenders. This week, the Multnomah County District Attorney called that shortage a, quote, urgent threat to public safety. Between February and October of this year, the county dismissed 285 cases because there wasn't a defense attorney. To draw more attention to the issue, the DA says his office will publish a weekly list of every case dismissed because of a lack of counsel.
I don't accept any part of the criminal justice system throwing their hands in the air and saying we don't have enough people. If you don't have enough people, then go out and recruit them, hire them. If you can't recruit them and hire them, then do something different.
Oregon's public defender system is the only one in the nation that relies entirely on contractors. And some firms and private attorneys are refusing new cases because of the workload, poor pay rates, and late payments from the state.
Local pediatric wards and hospitals say they are in crisis mode right now. It comes after weeks of warnings about RSV and other respiratory illnesses spreading in our community. Alma McCarty spoke with doctors.
As masking and social distancing eased up post-pandemic, health experts say it's allowed respiratory illnesses to thrive. RSV hitting young kids, the elderly, and the immunocompromised especially hard.
It's coming at the beginning of the flu season as well, and we haven't gotten rid of COVID either. So it's a combination, sort of the triple whammy this year.
Now, hospitals around Portland, Oregon, and really the whole country are overwhelmed, in particular the pediatric units. Dr. Marianne Parsley, president of the Oregon Medical Association and a primary care physician in East Portland, explains.
If there aren't beds because they're all occupied by the RSV patients, it becomes really tough. And if you're talking about having to reassign staff to the pediatric units, then you have trouble staffing the adult units.
This week, OHSU Dornbecker ran out of pediatric ICU beds, and Randall Children's is postponing some non-urgent pediatric surgeries. Because they're in crisis mode, some patients in need of critical care are also being transferred to other hospitals.
I don't think that the hospitals in general are at the place they were at the peak of the Omicron surge, just because that tended to be more adult care and adult ICU care. But for the pediatric, there are less pediatric beds in the hospital because kids don't get sick at the same rate as adults do. And so they have fewer beds, fewer ICU beds, and therefore the capacity is being strained because of what we've got.
Since the vast majority of children who get RSV will have mild cases, doctors urge families to check with your primary care physician first and avoid the ER unless symptoms turn severe.
If the child is febrile, if they're looking like they're getting tired, if they're short of breath, if they're wheezing, absolutely take them to the emergency room, please.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
And hey, if you're heading out of town, heads up, the day before Thanksgiving is known as one of the busiest travel days of the year. Here's a look at the flight radar tracker showing a bunch of planes up in the air right now. Hey, nearly 20% of Americans are traveling by planes, trains, or cars. To allow more planes to fly, the Federal Aviation Administration is opening up new airspace on the East Coast. You'll hear more about that coming up this morning at 7 o'clock on the Today Show.
So here in town, PDX also ready for a rush of travelers all day long.
Our Chris McGinnis is there this morning. And Chris, what's it looking like? Are lines long?
You know, the lines aren't too long just yet, but they are stacking up a little bit, and I can say that has really picked up in the last, I want to say, about 20 minutes or so. When we first got here, things were pretty quiet, but you know, the first flights have now taken off, and folks here are lining up here. We're in the Alaska Airlines section right near the B and C gates, and you can see folks kind of bustling. Yeah, going anywhere fun? Going home. Where's home? San Diego. All right, go to see some sunshine. All right, so when you're coming to PDX this morning, I can say that we've already talked to a couple of people that have parked out in the long-term parking. That's already about 70% full, so just check ahead. You can use the PDX flypdx.com website for your resource there. PDX estimates that about just shy of 50,000 people will pass through this airport this weekend. And it's going to be a busy go of it, and they estimate that Sunday will actually be the busiest travel day here at PDX for the Thanksgiving holiday. Nearly 500,000 travelers anticipated for the entire holiday season. Pack your patience. Obviously, the lines are getting a little bit longer. Check ahead for parking. Again, that flypdx.com is a great resource, giving you an idea of the prices and what the parking situation is like. And I also did talk to somebody that parked in the long-term off-site parking, and we'll hear from them coming up a little bit later, but those lots are nearly full. He said they were crammed into the shuttle buses like sardines. So
gosh.
be showered and, brush your teeth and all that stuff. And be ready to cozy up with a neighbor when you get on that shuttle bus this morning, guys.
A travel and hygiene update. Chris McGinnis does it all. Thank you, sir. We'll be checking back with you and photographer Eric Patterson throughout the show. It's good to get on those early flights, because if you are going to hit delays, and we haven't heard about any, it's nice to get, right out of the gate. Get off the ground and then let whatever happens, happens.
But I've been doing this like 35 years now, something like that. Every year we do this story, right? So first time a reporter's reminded me to
take a shower.
Not to smell when you go to the airport. By golly, that may offend some people. All right. A great report from our comrade there, Mr. McGinnis. All right, we have our next weather system out to sea. That's Friday, which looks to be packing more of a rainy punch, if you will, than I at one time thought. But we are dry today. We will be dry tomorrow. The only travel issues in Oregon or Washington today would be some fog pockets, especially it's worse right now if you're traveling south down I-5 than it is north going up to Seattle. Temperatures, not too bad, really. Most of us here on the west side are above freezing. It is 30 in Bend. It's 20 degrees out in Baker City. Going up to Seattle, they're 46. They are dry this morning as well. And here's the way Futurecast shows our day. This is exactly right. This will be the fog being slower to clear on the west side than the east side later today. And by the way, it is much more dense on the west side currently, so that's probably correct. Assuming we get developing sunshine going into noon, early afternoon, most of us up and down I-5 and also at the coast will be bouncing up into the 50s for high temperatures today. Completely dry. Here comes the rain. Dry start early tomorrow morning, and then showers starting to pick up before the noon hour. That's 10:30, and then here's the main rain band around 2:30 coming through Portland tomorrow. So that's a pretty decent shot of rain. Models have been putting out less than 0.2 of an inch for us, so we'll see how much we get. Not really expecting Cascade passes to be overly bad with that system. Snow levels will be high to start and then lower during the day. But this is Sunday. Notice Mount Hood, 17 inches of snow. That stronger, colder front we've been warning you about if you're traveling over the Cascade Sunday is on track to come in Saturday overnight. So much of Sunday we'll see accumulating snow over those Cascade highways down to 2,000 feet. Snow levels could be closer to 1,000 with snow showers and rain showers going into Monday morning. So that's what's coming up. Again, it's that back half of the holiday weekend on Sunday that presents some difficulties for us. 50 in Salem today, about the same in Portland. And then we have sunny east breezes tomorrow. Now the east breezes tomorrow, maybe 15 to 25 in East Multnomah County. Nothing like what you had been seeing. There's the rain on Friday. Saturday looks pretty dry during the day, and then the rain on Sunday. Happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Okay, thanks, Rod. And hey, check this out. The KGW Great Toy Drive underway, going strong. In fact, look at our full toy box. It's going to get even more full as time goes on. And we want to make it easy for you to give. If you make a cash donation online, we'll go shopping for you. Just go to kgw.com/toy and click Donate Cash. And hey, if you give this week, local Toyota dealers will be doubling your donation amount for double the toys. You can also drop off a new unwrapped toy at any IQ Credit Union, Fred Meyer, or local Toyota dealership.